I never thought my own brother could betray me like this, but there I was, staring at my wife, Catherine, and my brother, Ryan, holding hands at a restaurant downtown while she was supposedly at work, and he claimed to have other plans. Welcome. This is Cheating Fact, and please don't forget to hit the subscription button. My name is James, and what I'm about to tell you shattered everything I believed about family loyalty and marriage. This happened 2 years ago, but the memory of discovering their 6-month affair still hits me like a punch to the gut. I'd been married to Catherine for 8 years. We met in college, built what I thought was a solid life together. She worked as a marketing coordinator. I managed operations for a logistics company. We had our routines, our weekend rituals, our inside jokes. Life felt stable and real. Ryan, my younger brother by 3 years, worked in tech sales and lived 20 minutes away. We'd always been tight, best friends growing up, still close as adults. He came over for dinner twice a month, joined us for holidays, and Catherine always seemed to enjoy his company. Looking back, she enjoyed it way too much. The signs started in March, but I was too trusting to see them clearly. Catherine began working late more frequently, except when she came home at 9 or 10 p.m. She seemed energized instead of exhausted, happy, almost glowing, in a way that made no sense after supposedly stressful client meetings. When I'd ask about her day, she'd give vague answers about challenging projects and demanding clients, but never the specific details she used to share. Her stories felt rehearsed, like she'd practiced them in advance. Around the same time, Ryan started showing up more often when I wasn't home. Catherine would mention it casually. Ryan stopped by to return that book, or your brother needed to borrow the hedge trimmer. Except, Ryan had never shown interest in gardening, and I couldn't remember lending him any book. The phone behavior really got my attention. Catherine had always been casual with her device, leaving it on counters, asking me to check messages while she drove. Suddenly, she kept it face down during dinner, took it to the bathroom, and stepped outside for certain calls. When I asked who was calling, she'd say work stuff or just my sister. I tried dismissing my suspicions. Marriage requires trust, right? I'd rather trust and be wrong than live in constant paranoia. But the evidence kept piling up in ways that made denial impossible. One April evening, Catherine claimed another late work meeting. Around 8 p.m., I decided to surprise her with dinner and drove to her office building. The parking lot was nearly empty. Her car wasn't there. I called her cell phone. She answered on the fourth ring, sounding slightly breathless. Hey honey, what's up? Background noise sounded more like a restaurant than an office. Just checking how the meeting's going, I said. Oh, boring strategy stuff. We'll probably be here until 10 at least. I sat in that empty parking lot, staring at dark office windows, and felt something crack inside my chest. Not break completely, not yet, but fracture in a way that would never fully heal. The next day, I started documenting everything. When Catherine claimed late work, I'd drive by her office. 3 times that week, her car wasn't there. When she mentioned weekend client calls, I'd listen for background noise and note inconsistencies. I also watched Ryan's behavior more carefully. He seemed to know details about Catherine's schedule that I didn't. He'd mentioned she was stressed about projects I'd never heard of, or ask how she was handling client situations she'd never discussed with me. The breakthrough came in late April. Catherine left her laptop open while showering, unusual, since she typically closed it religiously. A message notification popped up from an app one didn't recognize. The preview showed just enough to freeze my blood. Can't wait to see you later. Beautiful. Our secret is safe. I stared at that notification until it disappeared, my mind scrambling for innocent explanations. A coworker's prank. A misdirected message. Anything except the obvious truth. When Catherine emerged from the shower, I casually asked about her evening plans. She said she was meeting Jessica from spinning class for drinks, someone I'd supposedly met but never had. The lie flowed so naturally that I realized this wasn't her first deception. This was practiced routine. That night, while Catherine was supposedly with Jessica, I made the call that would expose everything. Hey Ryan, want to grab a beer? Catherine's out with friends. Can't tonight, man. Already got plans. Hot date. Ryan laughed, but it sounded forced. Something like that. I hung up with certainty settling in my gut. I drove to 3 different bars and restaurants in their area, searching for Catherine's car. I found it at a quiet bistro downtown, parked right next to Ryan's Toyota. For 20 minutes, I sat across the street watching the restaurant windows, praying I was wrong, hoping I'd see Catherine with a female friend and Ryan with some stranger. Instead, I saw them at a corner table, fingers intertwined, completely absorbed in each other like lovers. The betrayal hit in devastating waves. First shock, seeing them together romantically. Then rage, at both for lying to my face repeatedly. Then deeper anguish, realizing how long this had been happening. How many lies I'd swallowed. How completely they'd both played me. I drove home and sat staring at family photos that now felt like evidence of my own stupidity. Wedding pictures of Catherine and me. Photos of Ryan as my best man. Holiday gatherings where they'd acted completely normal while carrying on behind my back. I didn't confront them immediately. Instead, I decided to gather irrefutable evidence. I needed to understand the full scope of their betrayal before choosing my response. Over 2 weeks, I documented everything methodically. I photographed them together at restaurants. I noted every lie Catherine told about working late. I tracked Ryan's visits by casually asking our neighbor Mrs. Peterson, who mentioned she'd seen his car at our house quite a bit lately when you're at work. The smoking gun was Catherine's backup phone, hidden in her gym bag for private communications. While she showered one morning, I quickly scrolled through messages between her and Ryan. The conversations went back 6 months. 6 months of I love you texts, complaints about having to pretend around James, and detailed plans for secret meetings. They discussed me like an obstacle to their happiness, a clueless husband who made their forbidden romance more thrilling. One exchange destroyed me. Ryan, think he suspects anything? Catherine, James? He's completely oblivious. Trusts us both too much to figure it out. Ryan, good. Not ready for family drama yet. Catherine, don't worry. He'll never find out unless we want him to. They weren't just betraying me, they were laughing at me. They saw my trust as stupidity, my love as weakness. I screenshot everything, backed it up to cloud storage, and planned my response. The confrontation happened at our monthly family dinner. Catherine and I hosted Ryan and my parents the first Sunday every month, a years-long tradition. It seemed perfect for revealing the truth to everyone who mattered. I prepared carefully, connecting my laptop to our dining room TV, ostensibly for vacation photos after dinner. Instead, I'd compiled evidence, photos of them together, message screenshots, and a timeline of their lies. During dinner, I watched their performance. Catherine played loving wife, asking if I needed anything, complimenting our meal. Ryan joked around normally, discussing work with Dad, asking about sports. After dessert, I announced slideshow time. Before vacation photos, I said calmly, I want to share something else with the family. The first slide showed Catherine and Ryan holding hands at the restaurant. My parents looked confused. Catherine went pale. Ryan started standing. Sit down, I said evenly. There's more. I displayed message screenshots, reading their most damaging conversations aloud. I showed Catherine's work-life timeline, cross-referenced with evidence of their meetings. Dead silence except for my mother's sharp gasp when she grasped what she was seeing. 6 months, I said, looking directly at both of them. 6 months lying to my face, making secret plans, laughing about how easily you could deceive me. Catherine started crying. Not remorse tears, but trapped animal tears. Ryan finally spoke. James, I can explain. No, I cut him off. You can pack your things and leave. Both of you. My father, silent throughout the presentation, stood slowly. Ryan, he said quietly, you need to go. The aftermath was swift. Catherine moved out within days. Ryan was essentially disowned by our parents, not permanently, but trust was shattered beyond quick repair. I filed for divorce immediately. With my evidence documentation, Catherine's lawyer advised against contesting. The infidelity proof made alimony claims impossible, and we had no children complicating matters. Losing Catherine hurt, but by confrontation time, I'd already emotionally detached. Losing Ryan was agony. We'd shared everything growing up, trusted completely, and he'd thrown it away for an affair with my wife. 2 years later, I've completely rebuilt my life. New job in a different city, therapy for trust issues, and eventually dating again. Catherine and Ryan's relationship imploded after exposure, apparently. Their romance was only exciting when secret and forbidden. They broke up within 3 months of being caught. Betrayal reveals character like nothing else can. Faced with choosing between honesty and deception, loyalty and selfish desire, both Catherine and Ryan showed their true selves. Their betrayal ultimately freed me from relationships built on lies. The most painful experiences often lead to the most important growth. I'm more careful with trust now, but not cynical. I know the difference between healthy skepticism and destructive paranoia. And I learned that people who betray those closest to them will eventually betray each other too. Sometimes discovering the truth, no matter how devastating, is infinitely better than living a lie. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.